My name is Raze Chaos. You've made it back to my channel, and we have a challenge today. So yes, Druid Adora, whose link will be in the description, is a YouTuber from Canada who I enjoy watching. I challenged her in the first pop challenge for her to do, and as I mentioned there, she has a lot of great stuff, and she has a, sometimes, not always, but most of the time, a little co-star and little man who tends to steal the show. Yeah, she's just a lot of fun to watch, and so I appreciate that she challenged me on this, though I kind of see that as her, like, tossing it back at me since I challenged her and she accepted. But yes, so the challenge she gave me was the name challenge, and I thought it would be fun to just go ahead and restock my shelf with the letters of my channel. And it seemed a lot easier when I started it, and I knew I'd kind of need a little help. So I made sure to wear a shirt with my name on it. That way, if I got a little confused, I could always refer back. So, first up, what do we have? The letter R. The letter R is the first letter we've got, and yeah, we've got a couple of R pops that I can use. I wanted to do one that I don't think I've shown on the channel yet. Actually, I want to do a couple that I haven't shown on this channel yet, that I had gotten before I started the channel. So, a little bit of a surprise for people that have been watching my channel since I started. But yes, we are going to start out with R, with Raze Ramon. We're going to start out with the bad guy. Next up, we have A, which is actually pretty easy considering I already had an A up on the shelf. And I don't see a reason why we need to change this guy out, since he's Alice Cooper. And everything starts with A. Okay, so after A is Z. R-A-Z. Oh. Do I have a Funko Pop that starts with Z?
Zatanna here, makes.
Of course! How can I forget? I was so excited to get this one, and yeah, I have Zatanna. And it's a good thing, too, because I can't even think of another Z Pop out there that's not anime that I wouldn't even know what the heck it was to begin with. Next up, we have E. And let's see here. I've got a couple E-Pops. Again, obviously, there's a good little cross-section going on so far of, like, some of the I guess you'd say, old school wrestlers. Alice Cooper, my favorite musical act of all time. And then we've got a DC represented. And I think we need to represent the horror in literature that I love so much. And who else to grab but the granddaddy of them all, but Edgar Allan Poe. So, okay, so we're first word down. Raze, right on the top there. How well does that work? That is perfect. And yes, I am so glad I have Zatanna. I was happy to have Zatanna before I even tried this, but, well, you get it. To start off the next one, we're going to continue on, like, trying to do as many different kinds of pops as possible, even though I only collect, like, a limited number of them. It may not seem like I collect a limited edition, and this certainly doesn't help. So, for the letter C, we're going to go old school Sesame Street style, and we are going to use the Count. Now, he does have the before his name, but some people might not think that counts, but you know what? I can reassure you, he most definitely does count. And next up we have the letter H. Now, I was looking around at the H's, see how many H things that I have, and I was actually surprised with how I was surprised to see it. It was like I wanted to use a bunch of different characters and everything, and sure enough, H actually ends up being the first letter of one of the characters that I have the most pops of, because they just keep popping them in my direction. So I decided to go with Harley Quinn as Robin for the H. I had to go with the Robin because, you know, everybody knows I'm a Dick Grayson fan. And since neither D or G or N are represented in the name Raze Chaos at all, so I figured the best bet is to have a stand-in. Next up is the only repeating letter in all of this, which is A, and I thought for a second, well, why don't I go ahead? I've got 2 Alice Cooper pops, you know. But then I thought, no, I want it to be more representative. It's got to be, you know, we've got old school wrestlers, DC, we've got my fun side, my childish side, my representing my favorite character of all time side. So another side that I'll enjoy to go along with the classic horror literature is horror movies. And who better to represent that than Alfred freaking Hitchcock? So yeah, this is another one. So then we go to O, and if I thought Harley had if I thought H had like if I thought that I didn't have very many H pops aside from the Harleys, which, you know, there's several Harleys, but as far as trying to find an H or a different character for the H, it's only as difficult as maybe Z or O, and it took me a minute to find one, but then I realized that this represents both horror and one of my favorite figures in literature of all time. And so I get to reference my favorite author, Neil Gaiman, with the other mother. And again, we don't care that it says the on the front. It's other mother. And this, of course, from the Coraline movie. And yes, this is also one of the first pops I ever got, which, you know, I showed you the first Nightwing, the first pop I ever got. When you take that one and then see when this one came out, you realize how long it took me to get more. And finally, we have the most common letter in, as far as pops go, that I have, yeah, that kind of narrowed it down. I'm sure a lot of people were convinced that C was going to be Cthulhu, but no, I wanted to bring the count out, and I think I'm going to leave this up for a little while, and most especially this next one will very much be a surprise, because obviously I collect DC, so obviously I have Superman, I have, you know, several DC characters, which tend to start with S. Heck, I've got a Stephen King collection, so obviously I've got more than one Stephen King's. But I thought, why don't I surprise everybody with one that nobody probably imagines that I have? And that is She-Hulk. Why is that a surprise? Because I don't collect Marvel pops, because I don't like bobbleheads. But when I got to initially when I started, I was collecting a lot of Marvel pops. But then I decided I can't just stop and then always have these Marvel pops and never, you know, add to it. But so I ended up giving a lot of those away, and I gave a lot of them, and then I gave a lot of them to one person, and then the rest to somebody else who really loved the one character they didn't want. So the one that I had to hold on to is one of my favorite characters of all time, which is She-Hulk. And so, yes, this is my only Marvel pop. So I am going to toss this up on the shelf. That way, I am a Marvel fan. I just don't collect the bobbleheads. So we're going to put this up here. And there we have it. Raze Chaos. So this was a fun little challenge. And I think now is the time. Oh my goodness, my sheets have come down. I think that the best, I think at this point is where I go and challenge somebody else. And I don't really know who else to challenge because I pretty much have seen a lot of people do this, so I don't know who's left. So I decided, you know what? I know somebody. And, yeah, I'm still not a barbarian. I know that the Bearded Barbarian has done this challenge, but he used his first name, which is considerably shorter than Bearded Barbarian. So I'm putting out the challenge to the Bearded Barbarian to do your channel name in Funko Pops. I did mine. Now, I want to see you do yours. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've got a lot more stuff coming up soon. I have got some awesome polls getting ready to show up. Oh, excuse me. I've got some great new items that I want to show off. Some that don't have anything to do with Funko. So that'll be a nice little change and a nice little surprise for you watching at home. And I will actually let me know which one of these you like the best, or which one surprised you the best. And I'm guessing it's probably She-Hulk, but or maybe even Sesame Street, because who knew Raze Chaos would have a Muppet? I like Muppets. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Let me know which character you liked, which one you were surprised by, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten. I've enjoyed doing challenges. I've enjoyed showing off stuff for your enjoyment to watch. And I look forward to seeing you back, and I can't wait. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you enjoyed this, if you thought that that was a good cross-section of my my little collection, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you don't think. Tell me something.